Welcome back to Racing with Jesse Rosinski. I'm going to say it was a pretty exciting weekend of racing, and thank you for everyone, all the new followers, subscribers. Again, videos are on YouTube and Rumble. I put the videos when I do the shows with other people on the Facebook page, but of course, follow along on the Facebook page because all the episodes get put on there. And again, Anchor, Breaker, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts, whatever your preferred is, follow along on there and have your notifications on so you can see. And now we get to get into the good stuff, which was all the racing for the weekend. There was a lot of it. There was a lot of stuff learned. There's still some questions out there, but again, new cars, new all kinds of stuff. So, that had to happen. And we got to see some history being made. Who doesn't like seeing history made? History being made is always a good thing, no matter what it, in the world of racing and stuff. There's a lot of good stuff. I like seeing those moments. A lot of people like seeing moments like that. So, jump right into it with the Camping World Truck Series. And I thought they had a good race out there at Las Vegas. A lot of, there was good racing all weekend at Las Vegas, but trucks out of Victoria's Voice Foundation 200 presented by Westgate Resorts. And the big takeaway, I have to say, people are, heads are going to explode, but Christian Eckes wrecked himself. Kyle Busch didn't wreck him at all. And if you see, and I saw Christian still running his mouth on that, but watch the replay. I mean, he came way down onto Kyle and wrecked himself. Kyle did nothing wrong, and I know much people hate Kyle Busch, but he really did nothing wrong there. He held his line. Christian came way down into him and wrecked himself. So that one's on Christian. I'm sorry. I like the kid. I think he's really talented, but he came down into Kyle on that one. So, him, I will say it's too bad and a shame to see Ryan Preece getting to be Stuart Haas's reserve driver and to get a few truck races throughout it all. I think he deserves much better than that with the talent that he has with what we saw him driving in. Another one of those got called up into a bad situation. Well, made the best of it in my opinion, but apparently not enough. But people like Ty Dillon and that can have rides, then he deserves better than that. Chandler Smith got the win. Good for him. Zane Smith finished second, but got DQ'd for lug nut issues. So Kyle Busch moves up and finishes second. Again, he still got outraced, so there's that. But Christian Eckes wrecked himself, and that's why Chandler Smith got the win. All of that, and also good to see Matty D up there in seventh at the end. I think he's going to keep getting better, which is one of those things we're going to learn. He keeps getting better. He's going to keep getting better. He never rode in the trucks before. This is his first time in it, so. New team, new vehicle altogether, driving in the trucks. I think he's going to get a lot better throughout the season and help the team get better. But it was good to see him up there and finishing in the top 10. After we saw him, the lack of competitiveness at Daytona, really, it was really good to see him, again, just it's a whole new thing. He has to get, used to it and acclimated as he never drove them before at all. So it's not like going back down there. It's like he never did it before. So, it's going to take time and laps to get more used to it. But it was good to see him up there. And again, good racing down there. It's just all the people freaking out. Eckes wrecked himself. I'm sorry. There's no other way around it. Christian Eckes wrecked himself. Take that one, people. Jim Moose's too. NASCAR Xfinity Series. So again, they have a lot of good talent there, and a lot of people have a lot of opportunities because so many people have moved on. But they had the Alsco linen and uniform rental services 300. And there was a lot of stuff to take away, from that race. First thing got to say though, Ty Gibbs getting into Ryan Sieg on like lap 3. No matter how far back he started, how many people he was passing. Getting up into something like that early, it's completely unnecessary. It didn't need to happen, and I would have been pissed too if I got wrecked that early. And at the same time, Brendan Poole blew up on like lap 4, which you just don't see it very often. So that's just weird. I'd like to know what happened there. And NASCAR, like usual, they don't manage to like amaze people. There was snow and sleet at one point during the Xfinity race where they had to throw a red flag. Course in the desert. It's a NASCAR thing. They're really good at that. Just amazing. It's like NASCAR, the weird weather phenomenon. Like they get that there. Uh, the race that Chris Buescher won at Pocono because of fog, like rolled in the middle of the afternoon. You couldn't see anything. Yeah, it's just a NASCAR thing. Weird weather stuff places, They're good at it. It's what they do. What can I say? But once they got back, Ryan Sieg got black flagged by NASCAR, tried to retaliate on Ty Gibbs before he went to the pits. Well, he kind of got him, barely, but he did get Moffitt in the 2 car, which is stupid. All of it was just, wrecking him was dumb, but trying to retaliate and then not even getting him, getting 2 other people just makes you look even dumber. I'm sure NASCAR is going to do something about it. It was just stupid. It was unnecessary. It didn't need to happen. And we're not, boys let out them, but guys doing stupid stuff like that takes out other people. It's just dumb. So if it didn't take them out, they still got damage from it. And it's just stupid. Like it was unnecessary. Sorry. Completely was. Didn't need to happen. And hopefully they lay the hammer on him just because, it's just not good. It was dumb. What else is there to say about it? Him getting into you, dumb. You trying to retaliate and then getting 2 other guys and not him, really dumb. So I think Wednesday is normally the day when all those penalties and everything come out. So we'll see. But I think they're going to lay the hammer on because that was just a bad situation. This is one of the few times where I think they really should, because that was dumb. Really dumb and a bad look. So talented kid, but he deserves to get something laid on him for that. But moving on, Noah Gragson looked good. Won stage 1. He got stage 2 under caution. And the JRM, juniors guys looked good. Barry was up there looking really good. So was Sam Mayer until he had his problems, which is a shame, but they were looking good. And then Allgaier, again, and Gregson were right up there. So that was, another good day for them. Colleague looked good. Obviously, the Gibbs guys look good. So there's a, plethora of people up there, but the big teams, they're all still right there. A lot of cars got taken out, about 11 to go. See Ryan Truex, Austin Hill, Riley Herbst, John Hunter Nemechek, and Ryan Ellis all get taken out. But conveniently for at least Austin Hill, he won at Daytona. So he's still going to make the playoffs unless something catastrophic happens. Riley Herbst, that's a shame. Keep getting stuff together. And John Hunter Nemechek, we all know how I feel about him. I thought he got screwed when they called him up so early. So that was bad. And Ryan Truex was running a great race for Gibbs until, that happened. So he doesn't get a lot of opportunities. So it's a shame to see, that. But again, racing does happen. These things do happen. It was just a shame to see them all running that good and have that happen there at the end. But Ty Gibbs steals the win. We all know how fast he is. We all know how talented he is. I'm not taking anything away from that. That move, lap 3 was dumb. But he got the win there. There's a lot of guys up there, like Landon Castle. Again, good equipment for the first time in a very long time. So it's good to see, him up there in the top 10. Moffitt was up there, stayed in the top 10. Jeremy Clements got an 11th, which is really good for that team. Now they're progressively getting better every year. So, good on him. It was good to see. And again, lots of guys up there right around the top that, deserve it because they've been busting their tail. And I was really happy to see it. Then there was the caution on the last lap. Thought they could have let them race it a little bit longer than they did, but it wasn't going to change the outcome. I get why they did it. The speed there, all that, I do get it. I don't like them all, but this one, cars on the front stretch there, I thought they could have let them, at least go back to turn 3 and then throw it because everyone could have been very much slowed down appropriately by the time they got back around anyway, because they all had to come back around anyway. But this one I understand, so I can't be too mad about it. I'm normally unhappy, but in this situation, it made sense. So I'm not going to complain about that, which moves us up to the NASCAR Cup Series, who, they had a good race too. It's Pennzoil 400 there. Christopher Bell got his first career pole. Good for him. Granted, there wasn't a lot of qualifying last couple of years, so there weren't a lot of opportunities for him to do it, to even try, but good on him getting that pole. When they had a longer run, that was a good 31 laps to start up for the competition caution, which, we didn't even make it that far, I don't think, in any run at Auto Club. So We got to see people do things. Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, we saw a bunch of guys, really loose with these new cars and all that. And that's good, because the top guys up there, like the Hamlins, because last year, like a lot of guys are, Kyle Busch wrecked a car, Harvick's had trouble. Like everyone's having, a fuss trying to learn the new car. And this is the first time on a mile and a half again. So, it's to be expected. I think guys are going to figure it out, but it's good to see them at least struggling and having to race. Bowman wins stage one. Again, cars spinning, sliding, wrecking, spinning out. A lot of people spinning out, trying to keep it going. But again, new car, first time there, just like when they go to Phoenix, completely, new thing. Track type, I think it's going to get better once they start hitting, the meat of the schedule. And they're not just going from track type to track type to track type to track type. But they were racy. There was a lot of good racing going on there. So I can't, complain about any of it. The amount of cautions from all the spins, that kind of gets old and tired stuff. But again, first time seeing it, in this new car. And by the time, another couple of weeks rolls on, they'll get onto some, track types, and it won't be the first time. So I think it'll get better as it goes. I think it'll get a lot better as it goes, but it's still very, a lot of competitive cars, a lot of guys up there doing good. So that's good. Chastain, Ross Chastain gives Trackhouse their first stage win ever when he won stage 2. Great to see. Eric Jones right up there again in the thick of things, making crazy moves, looking really, really competitive up there. And he's up there in the top 10 until late trouble. And his teammate Ty Dillon was, stayed around 20th and worse. So it's, same cars. Comes down to, talent-wise and everything. And I just, again, people like Ty Dillon have rides, but there's people that are much more deserving that, don't, which, hurts my head. And we get to the other people I normally talk trash about. Well, the normal person. And 23-11 there, Kurt was around the top 10. And there was Bubba just barely behind the 15th. So for a lot of it, so they were close to each other. So, could have been a car thing, could have been a Bubba game, but, but he was at least up there and they were near each other this time. So it wasn't like a complete, how's he doing so good and you're way back there kind of thing. So not going to complain about any of that. That was good to see. Bubba was up there doing it, and they're near each other. They're in the same cars, they should. And it was good on Bubba missing Eric Jones there, but totally couldn't save him from hitting the tire barrier. But he did make the save getting around him. He just couldn't correct it in time. And he almost took out the pace car, which I might have me and Chuck, I believe, we're just laughing about that on Friday. So it's amazing that it almost happened, but would have been the scariest thing if he actually did get into the pace car. The pace car didn't stop. So good on that. And the car wasn't completely destroyed, which, these cars we've seen, they actually can take a pretty decent beating, which I think overall is really good for everything instead of, tires getting cut out by, other people's exhaust and all kinds of stuff. Like the cars can take a better beating. They're cutting less tires from just making incidental contact. They can get off the wall and keep going, bounce into each other, slam into each other. Like the cars are they're tougher, which is going to lead to better things down the road and less idiocy and all that all across all of it. But then we get to the end of the race where Kyle Busch was going to win over Truex. So that late caution didn't, come out. Kyle was right up there. I think he finished third, and still good on him for when he wrecked his car. Still had Hamlin's back glass with his name on it on the thing. When they try to put up bits and pieces, they move from one to the other because no one even has real backup cars just because it's so hard to get all the parts and all that. So the amount of work that the whole Gibbs organization did to rally and get that car ready and through inspection and that competitive, good on them. No matter what anyone wants to say about Kyle, they were taking bits and pieces and everything, wasn't even the seat and engine, anything. They had to do a lot of work to get that thing where it was. And I think no matter how you feel about Gibbs or the drivers, it was really good to see everyone, rally together and get that car raceable. Because again, that backup literally had nothing in it. And they had to pretty much take everything from one, put it into the other. And they did it and damn near won the race. So good on them. Bowman ended up stealing the race in the green-white checkered. They took 2 tires. Kyle took 4. And he had a straight drag race with Larson for, those last 2 laps there did Bowman, but good on him. And I saw people talking trash all the time, and he got another one. Like, he can win. He's that good. Thanks to stop dogging the guy. And then another good thing that, from it, I mean, look at that. Ross Chastain third. Almirola was up there. Reddick was up there. Dillon didn't look bad. Austin, not Ty. Harvick looked good. Corey LaJoy got a 15th, which is good to see. Like, so far, there's been a lot of people that have been up there that you didn't expect to be up there. And, that's only good for the sport. I think, teams are going to click onto it at a faster pace, get used to it than other teams are. Yes, and they're going to start clicking off and getting it better. But right now, everyone's still up there. Everyone's, more competitive and doing stuff. And, I mean, really, what else do you want to see in all of it? Like, that was, more competition, everyone having a better chance. Like, that was the whole point of it, and the car's more durable. So can't complain too much about any of it, and it's good to see. I think it's a good step. But again, I think, we're going to start seeing, the competitive window get wider, the margin, just because, more teams with more money, I think, are going to figure it out faster and have more resources to do stuff. But overall, I enjoyed it. I can't complain about most of it. And, that's really what we want, which moves us on to the Monster Energy Supercross Series from Daytona. Great to see Daytona and all the stuff they do there. I kind of like to be there. It was cool. Amazing track. Ricky Carmichael put together and designed again. Already had a meeting this morning. Start designing next year's, which is really cool. All the different, surfaces, 2 different lanes for turning there, distinct ones by themselves. That was really cool. Again, I don't get to watch very often. I try to watch it live because, Peacock, and when that's Peacock, like, it either works really good or it just works really, really bad. And, it took me a while to get through it because it wanted to work really, really bad. But great racing for the most part. 250 heat 1. They get their 6 minutes plus a lap. Hampshire on the Husqvarna wins. Great racing behind him, but he was up there, doing his thing. 250 heat 2. Again, 6 minutes plus a lap. Robertson on a Husqvarna. He led early, but Lawrence on his Honda took the lead and just drove away from him and wins. I'll say the top 5 were in their own zip code. Like, there was 13 seconds between 5th place and 6th place. Like, the top 5, they were up there and getting it in their own little thing. And, if you could see who the competitive guys were, but they said they had like 60 guys trying to get into the 250s, and there's only 40 spots. So a lot of people were down there trying to get into the race at Daytona. So that's tell you what, the race at Daytona means and what everyone expects from it. 450 heat 1, 6 minutes in the lap. Webb won easily. Heat 2, Malcolm Stewart wins on the Husqvarna. He looked really good. I mean, he was on fire all night until he wasn't anymore. 250 last chance qualifier, 5 minutes plus lap. Munoz wins. You could have put a blanket on the top 4. Like, they were all right there on top of each other. But, top 4 advanced. So I was glad to see it. They didn't, go out there and try to kill each other and held their stuff together to, be in the main event. But yeah, those 4 in that race were in a league of their own. They were on top of each other. Everyone else was way back there. So it was exciting. I was wondering what they were going to do, but they all did it the smart thing and didn't take each other out, which, is a good thing, because, it would have been dumb just to see someone try to make a move. And if they ended up wrecking themselves, open the door for someone else, injure themselves, their bikes, it would have been dumb. So good on them to do that. 450 LCQ, great race for the last transfer spot until the end there, but Bogle won by a mile. He was gone. A league of his own in that one. 250 main event, 15 minutes plus a lap. Lawrence dominated. You could tell me that kid's on fire right now, and he owned Daytona. Sorry. He did. He was out front by 12 plus seconds. It was really easy for him. So it wasn't the most exciting watching him go, but the racing behind him was great. There was a lot of action all over the place. He was just gone. He was in a whole different zip code the whole entire race. And he's really talented. So I'm excited to see where they're going to keep going with it. But he was just gone. In the 450 main event, they got 20 minutes in the lap. Jordan Anderson gets into Malcolm Stewart for the 2nd straight week. Only on the 2nd turn of the race. And don't worry, Stewart got his back this time. Very shortly after, took them both out, drove away from Anderson, but he was looking really good, like Stewart was. Practice, qualified, his heat race, like he was on fire the whole week until that happened. I'm sure it's not done, not over, not yet, not by a long shot. See where they go, with that, if they can finally just squash this, or if they're just going to keep, with 2 straight weeks, take the same guy out, especially when he's, really close to home and he was dominating all weekend. Like, I'd be pissed. So he got him. Very shortly after that, I've been, nuclear too, but the ending of the race was the good one there because Webb had it. I mean, he was, Tomac was getting close, but Webb had that thing until the lap driver, he didn't know that they were next to each other. He didn't, know that he was directly in Webb's line, which I'm sure he had to feel, really just bad about for the whole thing because it changed the whole outcome of the race. And literally after that, Webb, like, he fell back like 3 seconds there. I mean, didn't have a chance, but got Tomac the win. And that is his 6th win in 7 years. Going into the race, he had the same exact stats as Ricky Carmichael. Excuse me. Comes to wins, podium finishes, like everything at the track. Tied with 5 wins and all that, the most ever at Daytona. And he broke the tie. He got the win. So there's number 6. He broke Ricky Carmichael's record. Ricky was all for it. He said he hoped he did it because he just likes seeing that stuff. And it's always good to see, history. And again, could it have been different if the lap car didn't get in his way? Yeah, I think it would have been really racy there at the end. But I mean, that completely like held him up, and Tomac just drove away, and there's nothing Webb could do to even try to catch him. And leading up to that, like, Tomac had like smoke coming out of stuff. I mean, like, he was getting as hard as he could. And I don't think he was going to get him until that happened. But there's nothing you could do about it. It happened. What's done is done. So, yeah, shame, but you got to see history, and that's the thing that matters there. So, can't complain. Again, good weekend. Supercross was good. Cup was good. Xfinity, like trucks, there's a lot of good stuff that happened through it all, so I can't complain. Final thoughts going forward on it all, though. I mean, that Supercross stuff isn't done yet between Stewart and Anderson. Like, I don't think that's over by a long shot. And again, the new cars in NASCAR and the Cup Series, they're like, again, they're still learning. It was the first time on a mile and a half. And I think once they start rattling them off more, I think they'll learn more, and it'll get better, and everyone will be figuring it out when more parts are available, so they can have more cars. I think that'll be, better. But the abuse that the cars can take, it's good. People, run into each other's doors and not cutting tires because of exhaust is good. More people are up there, and there's, competitive. And, it's great to see. Who doesn't like hearing that, Ross Chastain's in 3rd, Eric Almirola's up there, Austin Dillon, Tyler Reddick, Corey LaJoie gets a 15th. I mean, there's nothing wrong with any of that. Do I think it's going to stay that way now for the whole season because people are going to start, figuring it out? But even the top guys are having problems spinning out. Kyle, Chase, Harvick, we've seen them wreck so far this year. Like, guys are, Denny Hamlin went around. Like, there's guys that are just losing it in these things. And, it's more difficult to drive, which, again, who thinks that's actually a bad thing that they're having a hard time driving it? And they actually have to drive. So that's a good thing out of it all. It'll get better. Again, just brand new cars, not a lot of parts. Never been on a mile and a half with it. So, in this fashion. So, they're going to keep figuring it out. But it's led to good competitive racing. Eric Jones has looked great until his problems. He was right up there until he had problems again. And his teammates sucked. So, Ty Dillon's still Ty Dillon. And close it out. Christian Eckes wrecked Christian Eckes. Kyle didn't wreck him. He came down into him. Watched the heads explode. And then he wrecked his car, and they somehow mismatched and just got motors, everything, from his primary into a car that literally had nothing, not even a seat, no wrap, Hamlin's back window, like, in it. Like, and to see him would have gotten the win if it wasn't for that late caution. Again, the guys in front took 2 tires. He took 4. And then Bowman, stretched it out. But Kyle, I mean, what a weekend. A lot of adversity. But he got through it. And again, the cars were competitive and they could take more of a beating. So I think that's better for everybody, because there's less stupid stuff that happens then. Yeah, how many times we see people door each other. Someone loses a tire from the exhaust, like not seeing that all the time, I think is a giant step in the right direction. But that being said, I'm going to jump off. Again, don't forget to follow along, Facebook page, because all the episodes go there. Videos are on YouTube and Rumble. Find your preferred audio, whether it's Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, Anchor, Breaker, like a lot of places, Overcast, and set your notifications on so you never miss an episode. I'll be back again on Friday, as of right now, with Walter in the morning. And if not, I'll be back regardless to do it on my own to give a preview for everything coming up for the weekend, as good as I can. So thank you for giving me a watch. Thank you for listening and giving me any time of your day. Don't forget, though, follow along on your thing, follow on Facebook, and share them all out to try to keep it growing, because I think it's a really good thing here. I enjoy doing it, and I appreciate all of your watches and listens. So I'm going to jump off. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'll be back on Friday. Whether or not Chuck is with me beats me. We're still on schedule as of right now, but life can happen. But till then, enjoy the rest of your week. Be good to each other. And until Friday, my friends, peace.